So, welcome to planning for next year so that you can have the best success that you choose to have. I believe everything in our business is a choice. I've been with Tupperware 19 years and I've had 20 free cars in this business. I took over the business years ago for Allison Waller, who was a regional across the country, literally from the West Coast to the East Coast, and now works for Worldwide Tupperware, which is pretty amazing. She started as a consultant out of Modesto, California, and she went up really quickly because she chose to work for business. So that is what I come from, and my big story tonight for you guys is how to work your business now for future and how to plan for the future. I think it's really important as we go and finish this year that we start our new year fresh. So like I said, our title is Planning for Next Year and Getting Things Right the First Time, the best we can, right? So I'm going to go through 10 different strategies to help you build your business. So you may want to jot down some notes, and I'm just going to share with you guys my best practices that have really helped me. I have 3 kids, all in 3 different schools at 3 different schedules. I have a husband who works in the prison system, and so our schedule is very tight. My kids are all in sports, and we run really hard all the time. So with that, I'm going to share some things that I found for you guys I thought were really cool, and hopefully that will help you a little bit. It says it's not too early to start on next year's success. I've always said whatever you do now shows up later. So do you want it to show up much later, or do you want it to show up next week, right? So we want to be successful now so that we can continue moving forward in our journey. Pre-planning in these last few weeks of this year can help you to ensure to be ready to hit the new year running. Here is how you can have the most successful year of your future if you choose to. Like I said in the beginning, everything is a choice. So it's the final quarter of the year, and on a busy one for some of us business planners, right? In our business, whether you're struggling to breathe under your workload or you're enjoying some small or some well-deserved slow time. Know that your actions in the last few weeks of this year can set up your best beginning to a new year and to your best year yet. We always say your best year yet, not your best year ever, because we want to continue to grow every year. Say yes. So in the final quarter, here we go. We want to start off strong, allowing you to build the momentum to finish this year and to build your business to enjoy much success in the years to come and to finish this year out as strong as possible. So that one begins with, otherwise we begin with a soft little fizzle and people start to die out because they're already thinking that Thanksgiving is coming and then Christmas will be here and people are already dying out. I started my business at the end of August, first part of September, and I feel like this is the time to really ramp up our business and things that we can do to grow. And this is the time of year that people are spending money, right? Whether they have it or not. They're spending cash or they're putting on a credit card. So you can choose to help people spend money in your business or with somebody else's business. I choose to encourage them to join my business. So here's some things that you can do to begin your path of success. So number 1 is start now. Don't start later. Start right now and move on to your future. So we always say begin as soon as possible. November is a really good time of year to start your next year, looking at your date book, your planner, as I like to call it. To me, it's not a date book, it's my planner. It's my life planner. My planner goes with me everywhere my purse goes. So begin as soon as possible. The problem with the end of the year is that you lose a lot of stakeholders, if you will, to vacations and holidays, and that's just the way it is. This is generally a time for coasting before the holidays get here. So begin getting planning in place before the out-of-office notices start to appear. You ever send an email and you start to get the notifications that people are out of the office? So the other thing is, with that, is also pick the right planner that's right for you and fits your lifestyle. But a paper trail is essential. I know that we live in a very digital world, and so a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to put it on my phone. What happens when your phone dies? I know everybody says you can put it in the cloud and you can look at those things, but a paper trail is really important in a lot of things that we do, because it is nice to have that paper trail that you can go back to when you've had a really good host. You can flip through a couple pages versus scrolling through your phone or your iPad or your tablet or whatever you're using digitally, and you can't always fit everything in those small little boxes, right? As we all get older, our eyes do too, so it is easier to read a box. But I also use a planner for other ways, and I'll share that with you here in a little bit. But some of you guys were very fortunate recently to earn the planner that Tupperware had in the last month, right? How cool is that? Are we super excited? And then you have your cover as well. And I love, love, love this new planner. So if it becomes available as a sales aid and you didn't earn it, buy one. If you did earn it, it's nice to have an extra that you can have to use as a carrot for maybe a team member or as a backup for something else. I always encourage all of my leaders to have their own personal planner or date book, and they also have an additional for so that they have one to help their team members plan as well. And then we have one that I personally love, and I'll share with you guys. I have my passion planner that I have been using now for a couple of years, and I have the big one. I really prefer a date book that has a month at a glance and a week at a glance. And the new one that Passion Planner has, Law of Attraction has them, 365 has them. There's a lot of really great planners that are out there that you can utilize as well. And so the new size, it fits really nicely in our old cover, but it is significantly, if you can see my screens here, it is significantly smaller than the original that they have. And then they no longer have the compact. So if you're familiar with Passion Planner at all, they have this new size. I really like it and I'm excited. I like just the plain black because I figure you can decorate this and make it work for how you want it to work. So anybody that knows me knows I like things that are bright and shiny and glittery. So you can, like me, you could put, I think it's called washi tape that you can put on here. You can put a picture of your family. Put things on here that motivate you, that you will open this date book, whether it's the Tupperware one you just earned, whatever company that it belongs to, you can decorate that and it will motivate you to open it. And for a lot of people, as silly as it sounds, you need to have a planner that you're excited to look at. If you don't like your planner, you're never going to open it. So why do I believe in a month at a glance and a week at a glance? For a couple different reasons. And I want to show you, this one doesn't have tabs. If you're a slightly OCD at all like me, you need to have tabs. So I went ahead and ordered some. Gosh, I got them from, it's called commit30.com. And they're just simple basic tabs that I can put right on here. And there's tab lines built into this one, and then you can put the tab right into it. And so with that, I can put those tabs. Now in here, you have, and a lot of these new ones have it, so I'm just gonna show you. It gives you the following year at a glance, and then it also gives you a month at a glance, and then it gives you weeks at a glance. Now, why do I like this one particularly over other ones? A lot of planners are scheduled in a 8 to 6, 9 to 6. They cut off times. Passion Planner, Law of Attraction, and a lot of the other ones that are out there start at 6 a.m. and they finish at 11 p.m. When do we mostly do our parties? 11 o'clock at night? No, but we start at, during the weeknights, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. Well, if the date book ends at 6, where are you putting in your notes, your host information, her phone number, her address? I put all that information on my week at a glance. I also put silly things in here like take a lunch, go to workout class, take this kid or that kid to this appointment or this or school time, because literally my kids are in a high school, middle school, and elementary. So this gives me the opportunity to fill that in and not have too much room for error almost ever. I almost never make mistakes because I use the week at a glance, and it gives me kind of a to-do list, which I really appreciate as well. And then I can take a lot of notes. It has in here personal to-do list and work to-do list. If you want to grow your business to the full capacity, you have to find personal time. You cannot take care of other people if you can't take care of yourself, right? And so in that, personal time doesn't mean a spa every day of the week, but it does mean that if you like to get your nails done, your hair done, or have lunch with girlfriends or guy friends or whatever you do, then take that time. Have date nights with your significant other. Spend time with your kids. Schedule that time in, and remember that quantity is not as equal to quality. Quality is more important than quantity. And a lot of people will tell you, well, I can't work this business because I need to have more time with my family. Do you want to have time with your family, or do you want to have quantity of quality time with your family? And that's what's really more important. And then the other thing that I do is I use the month at a glance, because I do want to be able, if somebody wants to schedule something with me, I can, instead of flipping through several pages of weeks, I can look at the month at a glance and know where I sit with the month at a glance. So that's really helpful to me as well. So that's our passion planner. And then how I take it even a step further, and this is really important to me, I'm a color coder. It's the way that I have worked since I started this business. So I use 3 colors. I go to the dollar store, whatever you have, the Dollar Tree, and I get the 3-pack of the pink, the yellow, and the blue. You can choose to use colors how you want to, but this is what I do. I use Pink Personal. I know some people who use purple because they're purple people. So I would highlight those boxes, the whole box, in pink. So I don't typically work Sundays, so I highlight the whole box on Sunday, and that's my family time. I do Blue Business, so those would be rallies, conference calls, these calls, maybe one-on-ones, grand opening parties for new team members. Those are business activities. Fall Fest, Jubilee, Spring Fest, all those things. And then yellow is YOB, your own business. Where do you want to hold personal parties that you're going to go and you're going to make money? Whether it be a party, an event. I typically put booths and events highlighted in blue as well, just the box. I don't highlight the whole thing, just highlight just the box, because a booth or an event like that is just that. It's not a party. That you cannot ever guarantee sales from a booth. So that's how I work it. And then yellow, yes, I do highlight the whole box or that section, maybe the evening section if it's a weekday. If it's weekends and I'm only doing a midday party, then I would highlight the middle section. And I do highlight the whole section because yellow is pretty light. That's how I do my month at a glance, so that I can control that situation a little bit better and work it for me. So number 1, like I said, planning for next year is starting now. Always make a plan to have starting in November, that you look at the next year and how you can work your business. The other thing of it is finishing out the current year, and where are you sitting for this year, and then where can you finish the rest of the year. So for example, if I had a goal to sell 25,000 in personal sales for the year, and I'm at 20,000 and I've got 6-8 weeks left of November, then what do I need to do to finish that sales goal? I'm going to take that 5,000 left over, divide it by 500. That's our national average party sales. I'm going to times it by 1.3. That's our cancellation rate. And that will give me the amount of parties that I need to schedule between now and whenever I finish my year, because everybody's year finishes a little bit differently. Are people having parties on Christmas? Probably not. Are they having parties the day after? I know people who do hold parties the day after. So everybody's business is going to look a little bit different. And then you want to also have a planning day, and that looks different based on what level you are in your business. If you're a consultant and you're just starting off, I always say go for Thursdays, because you can finish off the week, and what do you need to finish by Friday, and then you can look at the following week as well. And I plan my year when I'm planning in November. I plan my year, then I plan as I go along the quarter, the month, the week, and then the day. And that's why I like Passion Planner, because it gives me almost a to-do list in my week at a glance as well. So I can always look at what I'm doing, and I can reflect back on what I've done to help my business as well. So again, as a consultant, you might plan for an hour or two. You're not going to need a lot of planning time. As a leader in the business, from manager to executive manager, maybe a couple hours, depending on how large your team is. As a director, you're going to spend a few more times. Us as business leaders, we spend probably a whole day that we look at the planning of the rest of our business. So that's number one, is start now. Number two, in planning for the next year and finishing this year, is reviewing the current year. That's some time of reflection. So what goals did you have for this year? Did you meet them? Why or why not? And don't beat yourself up. Just evaluate what you did or didn't do, and I always say what you chose to do or not to do, and then perform what you can for future, and address the shortcomings that you may have had, but don't spend a lot of time on your shortcomings. Nobody's confidence is built by beating themselves up, so look at what did you do right and continue that. And if there's something you didn't do right, fix it and move on. And if you need help with it, that's why you all have business leaders, so that you can move forward in that, and then prepare for the next year. So write those things down and then reflect on them. A lot of date books now, again, Passion Planner and Law of Attraction, actually have a page at the end of each month that asks you questions to really make you analyze what you did or didn't do and how can you improve it and make it better. So that's a really good time that you need to spend some time in reflecting on what you can do. Okay, so number three, draw a line in the sand. Make sure you know exactly where you're going into the new year. Draw a proverbial line, say that 10 times, in the sand, and not only where you are financially, but what you are currently doing in your marketing. Note the details and follower accounts on your social media. Social media is a huge part of our business today, is it not? So look at how has your social media grown? What can you do to help that along? As well as the current different ideas and systems that you're using. While you may think you'll be able to easily categorize these results from one year to another, if you don't separate them individually, you'll soon forget which programs and systems worked for you. A lot of us say, oh, I can remember that stuff in my head. I'm realizing the older I get and the less sleep I get and the more my kids are growing, I don't remember things. So it's really important that you continue to write things down and reflect. Again, don't beat yourself up. Just reflect on how you can continue to improve. Number four, think about your projections for the future. So create projections for next year based on continuing to do the things that you are currently doing well. Where will you be? And give yourself some benchmarks. Where will I be by spring? So Spring Fest is a really good time to analyze and set your first goal. Where will I be by Jubilee? And by Fall Fest, and by the close of 2019. Can you guys believe that we're already saying that? And the next, if the next year continues along your current trends, will you have more attendees at your parties, more social media followers, more parties in your date book? Look and see what have you been doing so that you can grow or ask for help, right? And where you can grow from that. Are you on an upward climb or a downward slide? Do you like what the picture looks like? So picture yourself and where you're going to be and really think, what can I have in this business? And what can I do to grow my business? So if you do, how will your current influences look like for next year, and who are you influencing? A lot of people don't realize how much they influence other people around them all the time. You think, oh, I'm just a consultant. Oh, I'm just a manager. Oh, I'm just a director. No matter just what you are, people are always watching you. So do you dress the part? Do you look the part? Do you act the part? And that is different for everyone. Depends on where you live in the country, maybe how you were raised, what your beliefs are. But as long as we are always morally correct and we are always trying to better ourselves and help other people and do what's right by other people, we will always be taken care of. I say good karma comes, good or bad. So choose to make it good, right? And look at the projections of that for yourself. If you don't like what next year's projections look like based on your current trends, how do you want to differ them and change that? And by what degree do you need to do that? Do you need to move a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left? What does that look like for you? And what effect will that make on change for you and your family and your business? Number 5 is establish goals, and that's called SMART goals. I'm going to tell you what that means. Now that you know where you are headed, you've reflected on the past, you're projecting for your future. If nothing changes, you've established what it would take to affect that change. Create the goals that will help you get there. Remember, goals should always be SMART goals. So what does SMART stand for? S is specific, and it needs to be clearly defined. When you're setting a goal, it needs to be clearly defined. So I want to make a lot of money. Well, how much money do you want to make? I want to date a lot of parties. How many parties do you want to date? What does that look like for you in your business and for your family based on the needs and desires that you have? I want to get new carpet for my whole house. Okay, how much is that going to cost me? And break that down to how many parties am I going to need to continue that, right? And then we have M is measurable. You need to be able to tell if you have achieved them. To have a good year, if you say, I want to have a good year, okay, well, what does that look like? Again, have a goal in place. And it doesn't always have to be something personal. It can be something for someone else, that you're giving back, that you are taking care of family, that you're helping people grow in the business. What is your director maybe? How many new directors do you want to build under you? How many managers do you want to build under you? You're a new consultant. How many lives do you want to change? Always remember that someone is waking up and praying that God changes their life in a good way. Remember, you could be the good change in their day that day. So remember that, and that's why we always have to be good representation of this company, of ourselves, of your business leader, the whole gamut. A is achievable. You can accomplish them. Become the next person by February that is outstanding, the big achiever. Many of you guys will be attending your fall events here this coming weekend. You attend your weekly rallies with your business leader. When you see those people who are doing really well, do you see, gosh, I wish I could be them? Or do you say, I could be that person? I could move forward in that. So make sure that it's something you feel like is achievable, but don't make it so easy that you sit back and you don't do the work that it takes to get there, and then everything falls apart. Make it a goal that you can work towards and kind of makes your stomach turn, right? R is for results, result focused. Goals should be measured outcomes, not activities. So again, what does that look like for you? Make sure that there is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, if you will, that there is something that you can tangibly get from that. And sometimes tangibly is in your heart, that you have fulfilled a dream for you and your family. Maybe it's that wow trip to Disney World or to Hawaii. What does that look like for you? And then the T is timely. Every goal needs a finish line where it will be judged as a successful by that point or not. That's the only time judging is okay, right? And so, and if you set a goal, what is the timeline on it? I want to have X amount of dollars by the end of this sales month, by the end of this quarter, by the end of this year, by the next event. What does that look like for you? And then break it down in sales and dollars. And then how many parties is it going to take to achieve it? Parties is always the answer. We say Rita and PETA is the answer. Recruiting is the answer. That doubles your paycheck. Parties is the answer because it gets you the recruits because you're having parties and meeting new people, right? Number 6 is create your own budget. Once you know what you want to do, figure out how much it's going to cost you to do so. Like I talked about, if you want new carpet in your house, how much is it going to cost you? What is the sales that it's going to take to get there? How many parties is it going to need to break it down? And there's formulas for that your business leader can give you as well. Create your budget based on your new undertakings or your goals. If those numbers don't work out, examine possible cuts and costs and saving that can help you get the magic number. If cutting costs doesn't work, examine your pricing structure suggested in other feeds also out there. Okay. What does that mean? Maybe it means a lesser carpet. Well, I don't want a lesser carpet. Okay, how many more parties do I need to hold in order to make sure I get that new carpet in my house? as an example for you guys. Number 7, did I say that one? Adjusting your pricing. Now that you're deciding on future goals and elements that are crucial to your success, it's time to re-examine the pricing, the value, the goal. Are your services still priced correctly? So maybe whatever your goal is that you're looking for, can you go somewhere else to get a better price for the same thing? We know when it comes to Tupperware, they're not going to get any better product than what we have to offer. So then the goal is, how can you build your skill level to show them, why do they want a $149 pressure cooker? Why do they want 12 pieces of cookware that's going to cost them well over $1,000, or can they get it for half price? How can you create the desire for somebody to want to have those products? And then you adjust it accordingly. So how do I adjust my pricing? You can have a party and get that cookware for half price. Or better yet, be a consultant in our business, check out our Confident Start Rewards, and you can get our cookware for just $3. Let me show you how. And break it down for them and give them something that leaves them a little bit on the edge of their seat that they want to know a little bit more. Do you need to adjust your, okay, then we have that. Do you want to offer a special service that you're maybe not currently offering? That might be custom kitchens. Well, I don't know how to do a custom kitchen. Ask your business leader. They'll guide you through how to do a custom kitchen, because that can really grow your business. And we have great marketing to help us with custom kitchens. And modulars are not the only thing that are involved in custom kitchens. You have Fridge Smart. You have the cookware. You have somebody's microwave cabinet and the right product that should be in there. Just different things. Our freezer collection, all those things that we have out there. And then how can you price them? Well, the prices are what the prices are they not? But how can we change the prices? They can have a half price opportunity, right? Number 8, explore your partnerships. You guys, we have so many people in this business that can help you. Don't be afraid to ask questions and get out there and see who can help you in your business to help you with future business. While you're thinking about these different necessary adjustments in your business, as well as the possibility of offering new services, fundraisers, custom kitchens, social media ideas. I'm not a big Facebook party fan at all, but it's the trend and it's working for people. So do I need to learn it? Absolutely. So you sometimes have to go along with trends, but always know that the party is the foundation of this company. That is always number 1. So in that, for instance, do many of your customers have technology needs that you currently can't fulfill directly? Maybe you have somebody who lives in a remote area who can't do a social media party. So what can you do for them? Are you willing to drive to them? Some of you that live in bigger cities, you can't necessarily drive to that location as quick as someone that lives hours away because of traffic and all the things that are out there. I was just in LA this last week, and the different business leaders were talking about how long it takes just to get a party and how early you have to leave. And I live in a city, but I don't live in a huge city, so it doesn't take me quite as long to get to a party as it does for somebody else. So you have to consider that when you are recruiting across the country, because we don't have any borders and no territories. You can recruit anywhere. So think about, how can our business accommodate them as well? And how can you add value to people in their business? They're not always going to sign up. They're not always going to host a party, but most people will always purchase. And always start with the top of the mountain theory first, meaning how can I ask somebody to date a party? Well, first is, how can they sign up and how can I fulfill that dream for me to get more recruits? But how does it benefit them first? Because then you'll have those recruits. Then if they're not interested, I ask them to have a party, and you get off the hook with that. And then if they're not interested in having a party, how can they help you by collecting orders or placing orders? And then they think they're off the hook, but they're really helping you, right? Let's see. So add value, and in exploring other partnerships, I will say this. If you're going to hold parties for other companies, make sure, that it's a fair trade, and that you look and see, on a greedy side, how can it benefit your business? How is that person going to serve you? So I've always said, if you're going to hold parties for other businesses, have them hold their Tupperware party first. then you hold your party. Because unfortunately, I don't know about you guys, but I am the worst consultant for other people, or worst host, but I'm a really good Tupperware consultant. And so I don't always have great parties for other companies. I don't want that to reflect on how well their Tupperware party is going to be, because maybe they don't make as much effort because mine wasn't great. So I always want them to have their party first. The other thing is, sometimes during this time of year is a great time to have a vendor party in your territory where you want it to be. They invite their customers to check out your Tupperware and the other vendors. And I never do more than 4 or 5. It's too many. It's like sending a kid to the mall with $100 and hoping that it makes it through at least one store, right? It's the same thing with an adult. So if you have too many vendors, then you're opening up too many doors for them to spend money, and you want the bulk of that coming to you. So then you invite your Tupperware out friends and family, and then they come and check out the other vendors. And at the end of the day, they're still spending more money with you and dating parties with you, because Tupperware is always going to be the best product out there. Number 9, re-examine your different loyalty programs, which would be our hostess programs. Maybe you have a loyalty program for customers. If you spend this amount every month, you can do what you want to on your VIP pages, just not on your public pages. And so what can you share with other people that will get some information out there as well to them? So if you're a part of any loyalty programs and rewards that you use for referrals or usage that way, re-examine how many business referrals you set along over the past year. So if you're looking for referrals and you've been asking for them and you're not getting anywhere with that, what can you do to get more referrals? Sometimes it means walking the streets, beating down doors. I don't know about you, but the phone to me as a business leader is just as heavy as it is to you guys. I don't like to make those phone calls either, and I don't like to door knock. But if it means the success of my business, I will do whatever it takes to have success in my business. I stay up late, I get up early, and that's what hardworking, successful people do and work to achieve. So I think that that's also important, and also another choice in our business. Number 10, use benchmarks. It's important that we run after goals, and when you accomplish those goals, celebrate it. Celebrating for everybody is going to look different. For me, sometimes it means a new pair of shoes, or dinner out with my husband, or going and taking the kids to a movie, whatever it looks like in your environment. Sometimes it's hanging around at home and having a fun dinner together that we all cook together, and having friends over and family over. So as a part of your SMART goals in our earlier step that we talked about, create timely goals that are also measurable. But part of that measurement should include the task that leads you to your goal. For instance, if your goal is to increase your revenues by $50,000 for the year, that would be a big goal, right? But that might be in your leadership numbers, in manager or director numbers. What does that look like for you? You would break down that goal into how many hosts and parties that you'll need to achieve it, like we talked about earlier. Once you know how many you need, you would need to calculate how many new customers and hosts that it breaks down to per month, like we said earlier in the same formula. These mini benchmarks can tell you whether you're on track to reach your goals way before that fourth quarter that we're in right now, moving you forward into the new year, allowing you to make adjustments along the way so that what you do now shows up sooner and not too much later. After all, next year's success shouldn't be a mystery until the final reveal, when there's nothing that can be done at the end of the year, right? Because if you've given it your best every single day, you work hard towards it, and every night you put your pillow down that you've worked your business, and you can tell yourself that you have given it your very best, really that's all that matters, and that's what's important. Add in benchmarks that you'll know if you're not on track to meet your goal early enough to salvage it. And that would mean those sales goals. It would mean a financial goal. Some of you might think, the money's not really important. It might not be for you, but it can be for other people. And what we have to remember in this business is that we need to make our business duplicatable. If you're not duplicatable, it's really hard to recruit. So keep it simple. You don't have to be too savvy. Learn to cook great things that you like to cook in our product, and that way you can make it duplicatable. And always remember to have fun, because that's what success tends to look like for a lot of people. In the world we live in, stress and things like that don't look exciting. So if you make your business look stressful, that can be really frustrating for people as well. And you want to make it that it's fun. It should be fun, right? Making money should always be fun. And I always say, if it costs money, that's just another party. It's just money. You can always make more. And that is the truth in this business, that you can always make more money in this business. So in that, numbers never lie, right? Set a goal. Break it down by parties. If you want to double it, recruit and step up to leadership positions. Those are important key things. Do the formulas, and more importantly, do the work that gets the results and gets things to happen and come true for you, and the results that you desire and that you deserve. So many people feel like, oh, I don't deserve that. You deserve anything that you choose to. And most of us will work harder for friends and family than we will for ourselves. So find something that gets you up and makes you want to work your business every day versus, I don't know, this isn't working for me. What can I do? So in conclusion, if you want to have your best year yet in Tupperware in your business, you need to get started today, not tomorrow. That's that TNT, today, not tomorrow. It's not enough to merely just set the goal. You have to work hard to work towards achieving it. Use the end of the year as a time to reflect and re-examine your entire business model through the systems and the practices that we have in our business. That way you can begin fresh in the new year, finish this year strong, knowing you're on a path to an even greater success. Your plan, your way. So I hope that you guys love all of that information. I'd love to take any questions that you might have. We got through that actually pretty quickly. So if you have any questions, feel free to shout them out for me, and I will help